the prediction of the climate model is in the next 100 years, temperature will go up around 4 degrees. Now 4-degree warming in place like Calcutta or Chennai or Mumbai would mean there are many days in these cities in summer where it will almost be unlivable because humidity is very high. Temperature which used to go up to 36, 37 will go to 40, 41. So life is going to be very hard for people in coastal areas in the tropics because our body has to maintain that 37 degrees centigrade. Our skin temperature is 35. When the ambient temperature goes above 35 and the air is humid outside, we cannot get rid of our heat. Any mammal will have a challenge living in a 4-degree warmer world because they have to maintain the body temperature 37. Now the second major problem which is going to occur, not immediately but after 100 years, is sea level rise. As the earth temperature increases by 4 degrees, you will have a lot of ice melting in the polar region, in the Himalayas, and all that melting ice will reach the ocean, and ocean also will warm by 4 degrees, so it will expand. So a combination of ocean expanding and ice melting will increase the sea level by 1 meter. Now 1 meter will not look much, but many parts of West Bengal and Bangladesh will be inundated by 1 meter sea level rise.
The Bangalore that I have seen back in 90s has like changed a lot. So the change in the sense is not about the demography, it's not about the urban development, it's also about the weather that I had experienced in Bangalore in early part of 2000. I came in Bangalore in 1999. So since then, this is to 2019. So it's really has changed. The weather has changed.
Definitely it has. You just had to step out of the campus to realize that, to be honest. I mean, just step out of the campus. This is what the weather of Bangalore should have been, intended to be. And step outside, for instance, in front of Mariamma Temple or Yeshwanthpur Circle. And that's what we've created.
Because of carbon. The global temperature is actually increasing, and then the icebergs are actually melting, and then the sea levels are coming in, and then, I mean, this has been happening, and I know that even a 2-degree change, permanent change in the atmospheric temperature is actually very harmful for all the wildlife and yeah.
So that's a major issue right now.
Here itself in Bangalore, every year we can witness the temperature is rising in summer.
I'm studying for like 5 minutes and I'm sweating.
When I used to enter the campus almost a decade back, the kind of the setting it was, has changed a lot. Setting in the sense I'm talking about in terms of the climate, the when you enter this Mariamma Circle, that was actually way different, that I can assert to that.
Very difficult. So till about 50 years ago, nobody was very sure whether human beings influence climate. Now we know, because we have a lot of data from satellite and from ground station, which show clearly that the warming in the last 50 years is very rapid. As a matter of fact, the warming that's occurred last 100 years is 1 degree centigrade. Now, if we look at the past climate, which today we can infer through very clever proxy techniques, one knows that in the past, 1 degree warming took 1,000 years.
To add on to that, well, the contributions of man-made and natural factors, well, I believe that nature itself has the method of homeostasis to keep everything in check. But our actions have pushed the threshold and it's disturbing the homeostasis. So
Okay, I don't think I'll be knowledgeable enough to say that, but maybe carbon emission, maybe one. What else? I don't know. At this point, this is the only one that I can think of.
Okay, so I have to tell you something about the what is happening to Bangalore. So we see that the temperatures are rising, and if we see at the the green content of Bangalore, I mean at least most of the part of the Karnataka, what is happening is earlier whatever was remaining as crops like rain-fed crops and then basic agriculture which we used to cultivate in Karnataka, now it has all been turned to eucalyptus. So why this is happening is because all these are cash driven. I mean, people want more cash, they want more revenue, so they are just simply shifting to eucalyptus. So what this is leading to is like a large amount of depletion of groundwater. So and again this is leading to deforestation and things like that. Again it is affecting the climate of Bangalore. So what the government can do, actually the common people, the agricultural people who are working on the field, they don't know what is going to happen, whether there is a climate change or whatever is happening around, they are not aware. Who will teach them? So that responsibility is taken, should be taken by the government bodies. So at least who are, and mainly they believe on the panchayat, they believe on the politicians who are, talking to them. So if they can provide some kind of, information that this is not ideal, you have to go for this, and we will provide enough subsidy for your, cultivations.
Personal level, I try to not use flight as much as I can because I know how much flight actually emits when I go from here to my home or to some conference or whatever. So better to use train rather than flight. That's the minimum that I can do on a personal level, and not buy expensive cars which actually are very low efficient in terms of fuel and all that. I used to, again, we cannot walk all the way wherever we want.
Public
At least
transport.
public transport you can use.
Public transport instead of
These are the
individual
things that I
cars.
can do personally.
For starting, I think for places like campus or maybe office complex or that place, without using renewable energy, for vehicles, not using fuel, the fossil fuels and all that, looking to alternatives for that, and even compensating with the traditional power source with solar energy or something like that in our buildings itself.
From this April, they are banning like two-stroke engines. I want a two-stroke engine myself, so the emission output is quite high compared to PS4 engines, like improved engines. So those should be banned according to me. And we also, as a people, as a citizens, we should educate ourselves, and we should improve like
Public transport.
public transports or cycles, or we should do things
Now
like
metros are also developing,
Yeah.
so it's faster also, and if it becomes more like 6 coaches every train, it's faster and better actually.
If we can reduce the usage of fossil fuels, then it is very good for nature. But that needs some governmental level pressure upon public to, or some law should be there. Then only like we are using helmet because of law, majority of them like that. If you curb the usage of petrol, then of course this can come down.
So all the things has to come from the government, or you do not have any personal responsibility towards the nature or something?
See, from the body of infinity, if you remove some part, I don't think it is going to affect there's going to be impact. So if you want to have a majority, then law should be there. Otherwise, there will be no. If the 2000 students in IAC uses a non-petroleum vehicle, then also I don't think there is a huge impact or any impact in the society. So
I would like to say about this effect called the crowd effect, wherein if a duty is put forward in front of a crowd, the responsibility of each person gets diluted. I mean, that's exactly what's happening over here. Let's take the example of any high school or middle school textbooks. Every single textbooks have methods to reduce your carbon footprint, save the environment, everything, and we've been writing those in our exams, getting full marks like all throughout the years. But do we actually stop and think that do we do these things? I mean, I come from a family where my mother is a teacher, my dad's an accountant, but well, my mother has been teaching all these stuff to students for over the past 8 years, but I've never seen to put what you teach into practice and to put what you learn into practice. I think that's what matters. I think we're all influenced by the crowd effect. That's what's happening over here. So to stop that, I think first we need a pressure or an effort from the government. Those sitting at the top position, first of all, they don't understand or realize, or they don't even stop and think about the difference between weather and climate.